Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so before we start, I was just checking that whether all of you are safe and family is doing good. I hope they are. And just ensure that you take as much precaution as possible. Help your parents in doing household work, because I'm sure you need a lot of support at home. So although you guys are very young, we never bothered helping our parents when we were that young. But I am sure you guys are much better, and it's a much more challenging time. So just see if you could help in the household work as well, to the extent possible, without taking additional risk. See if you can get your deliveries at home. See that nobody ventures out without some kind of very emergency or some very difficult situation. Otherwise, you know how bad it is. You guys are old enough to know that how bad the situation is. And it's across India. It's not just only in Patna. I was in Mumbai. Currently, I'm in Pune. But I have friends all over the place. And India has been very badly affected this time around. I was talking to some of my colleagues, not colleagues, a client in London yesterday, and they were also very concerned about the way situation is in India, because they get second-hand information in terms of news and all, and they were checking with me how the situation is.
I think Ayushi, you can take over from here. So we will lock the classroom in another 5 minutes. By the time students get entry.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'll ask Ayushi to facilitate it, and it becomes a smooth show. Ayushi, all yours.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I hope the students are ready, right? Can I get thumbs up?
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. So a very, very warm welcome to all. The first very episode of Achievers Diary. And I'm sure you all know who we have with us, yet it's a pleasure introducing Mr. Rahul Sharan. So before we begin with the questions and all the valuable insights that we can get from Sir, I would love to introduce him. Mr. Sharan, he is an MBA in finance and presently works as a consulting solution director in Oracle Financial Services Software Limited. He's a consultant, banker, speaker, and also the author of the book Ethics Matter, The Time Is Now. Welcome, sir. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thanks a lot, Ayushi, madam. It's a pleasure being here and initiating this, and it's a very good initiative that you have started. So I would like to congratulate the entire TGS team, you, Sudhanshu sir, Santosh, and everybody in the TGS team who is involved. And I'm sure with the kind of students you have, it will be a great success, and there will be a lot of learning. Most of the time we feel that it will only be the students who will learn, but we end up learning a lot from the students as we interact. That has been my experience with limited interactions with students.
I absolutely agree, sir. Yeah. So, well, moving forward, the first very question that we have for you is, what intrigued you to write on the subject ethics?
Okay, so let me try to respond to that question. See, all of us have or most of us being good human beings, would have encountered situations where we feel that, okay, somebody or something is not right. This is not the world that we want our children or even for ourselves to live in. So that thirst for knowledge, that idea, because I have never studied any art subject. So I have always studied science. So I started thinking about it, discussing with people, reading a lot about it. And I didn't have any background on ethics, but I had my own experience interacting with people. And I thought that maybe let me try to pen it down. And it was very, very complicated because it's a very abstract subject. And I didn't know where to start, what to start. So I started with experience, and then by and by it happened. But it's something which is very close to my heart. Even I spoke to Sudhanshu the other day. It's something which is close to his heart. A lot of people, it's close to their heart. So even if I think that even if one person gets impacted and moves, even if he changes his ways a little bit, I would
Right.
consider that it's a job done.
Agreed, sir. I remember scrolling through the books in the library, and I stumbled upon Ethics Matter, and straight away I knew what to pick as my next read. It's a lovely job done, sir. So
Thank
I
you.
really wanted to ask, I never thought I'll get a chance to speak to you in person, but yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, so for better understanding of students, how would you define ethics?
Okay. So that's the question which I expected, Ayushi. So that's something which I prepared. So for the students are very young, and there is a very simple line: ethics is doing what is right. Okay. Now the big question is, what is right? That is something that we will discuss during our session. But in simple terms, Ayushi, ethics is doing whatever is right. Now that right can come from either your intuition, you know that something is right. If people are in a difficult situation, as a human being, we should try to help, even if we are not able to at times, right? So that is something which we are right. Even a 5-year-old would know. And we have like 14, 15-year students, they would know that that's intuition. The second thing is that even if you don't have intuition, then you may want to ask someone. Okay, like the students that we are talking to, they may ask their parents, their elders, or some teacher, saying, okay, I am in this situation, I don't know what is right, so could you advise me? So you go to a mentor to get your answer. So that's another way of doing it. The third option is people see, okay, what would be the consequence of my action? If what I am trying to do, will it be benefit for the greater good? Then we go to that's consequentialism, or you revert to a mentor, or you go by your intuition. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Thank you
doing
so
what
much.
is right. So,
Doing
yeah.
what is right. So students, I hope you can, figure out what is the right thing to do.
Okay. So before I start formally, just one thing, I want to make this session very, very interactive. And that's something that even the TGS team wants. And the idea is to learn from each other, share our experiences. Only request is keep your answers and questions short because we have limited time. Okay, that's one request to the students. Otherwise, you can feel free to interrupt me anytime, and I would be happy to answer your questions. Okay.
Okay. So, sir, I would like the students to, share an experience. Anyone, Avantika, Surbhi, Pranav, any incident where you stumbled upon what to do, whether you're doing something is right or wrong. Want to share that?
If anyone want to share, just raise your hand.
Yes, please raise your hand, or you can write it in the chat box as well if your mics are not working. Usually that is the problem in the class. They don't want to speak. Mic issue.
Yeah, so
Yes.
you can put it in the chat box and we will try to answer that question.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, while we wait for your question.
Questions, yes.
Yeah, the one thing that I would like to start, sorry for interrupting, Ayushi.
No, that's all right, sir.
Yeah. So one thing that I would like to start with is that all of us are fellow students. So when I say that all of us are fellow students, our idea is to keep learning throughout our lives. So even when we are at, when the students are at our age, whether it's Ayushi madam, Sudhanshu sir, or Santosh sir, then we should keep learning and try to improve ourselves. So that is something that I would like to have as a takeaway from the students, and that's a promise that I want every student to do it to himself. It's not a promise to us, but to himself or herself, that throughout the life they will keep learning. There will be failures, there will be mistakes, but the idea is to keep learning and keep improving. So that would be the starting point. Now, going forward, what do you think about ethics is a question which I wanted to ask. Do you think it is unfashionable to be ethical in today's world? And let me try to say that how do you define something fashionable and unfashionable? Fashionable is something that you would want to show to the world, you would want to share with the world, you want to say that, okay, this is the latest fashion, this is my latest clothes, this is my latest watch. Is ethics something that you want to show to the world, or even if you are being ethical, you want to hide it from the world, thinking that it's quite unfashionable? Do you guys, and you guys are like almost 30 years, average 25, 30 years younger than we, at least I am. So then what do you think? Is it unfashionable? So if you do a good work, if you help someone on the road, do you feel proud? Do you come back to your home and tell your mom, your friends, your dad about it, your dear, close and dear ones? Or do you think, okay, this is too down market, I should not even be talking about it because there was a child on the road and I gave, say, a burger to the child or something to the child because he was hungry? So do you feel proud, or do you think it's something that you want to talk about? It is fashionable? Anybody, please? And I want this interactive.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah. Do you think?
Sir,
Yeah. Go ahead,
sir,
please.
if we help someone at the road and we are appreciated, then it's feel proud.
Yeah. But even if you are not appreciated, do you feel proud in yourself as a?
Yes, sir, by own,
Yes,
but
sir, we feel
to show
proud.
the world we have to get appreciated by anyone now.
Sure. So, and do you share that incident with your friends? Do you tell your friends that, okay, this guy was not as a kind of boasting, but something that you think that it's the right thing to do, and that's something that you did, and your close friend, if they also find such a situation, they should also try to help? Do you feel that
Sir,
way?
helping anyone,
Yeah, helping anyone.
yes, helping anyone
Mhm,
is only a good thing.
mhm,
Even if we are not appreciated, then also we feel proud because we help anyone. Then we will get the same thing after a long time or a short period of time, but we will get a good thing. So
Sure,
helping anyone is a very good thing.
sure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Harsh. So now Harsh and to others also, if I can ask a question, say Harsh, Rudra, Eklavya, and Ronit, you go to a place and then you eat, say, some of,
Excuse me, sir.
yeah,
So according to me, sir, if we help anybody, sir, and if we aren't appreciated, sir, we are also proud because sir, it satisfies ourselves. And so if something satisfies ourselves, we should be proud of that.
definitely, definitely. So even if we are not appreciated, we should be proud of what we have done because we have helped someone. We have done the right thing. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, agreed completely. So coming back to the question, we have Harsh, we have Eklavya, Rudra, and Ronit, for example, and then you, four of you guys, good friends, you go to a place and then you eat samosas, and then you give a 100 rupee note, and the total cost of 4 samosas and chutney, whatever you eat, it's 80 rupees. And the waiter or the person who owns that small stall gives you 420 rupees back. You have given 100 rupees. He thought it was 500 rupees. And Harsh, the question is to you. You have given 100 rupees and the waiter or the owner gives you 420 rupees back. You see 420 rupees, you realize immediately, what do you do? I want an honest answer. Harsh. Harsh or anyone for that matter. Sorry, Harsh. Yeah. Anyone. Honey, anyone, any of the
Yes,
students?
Sarthak.
Sir, I will give him back the rest rupees.
Okay. So this is Sarthak, right? That's a good response,
sir.
Sarthak. Now suppose there is somebody in your group, say let's say Rahul, and he gets 420 rupees back. You haven't paid the money. He said it's his treat, and he wants the money. He gets 420 rupees back. Will you tell him that Sarthak, you need to Rahul, you need to return 420 rupees, or he will say just stop and you will stop? Frank answer again. Anybody? You got the question.
Need to
It's not
return.
you who has got the money. Somebody else has got the money and he wants to keep the money.
No, sir,
Sir,
I
I
will
will
tell him to
definitely-
No,
give
sir,
him
I
back.
will give him back.
No, I am saying somebody else is he might
Okay,
say,
yes, Abhinav, tell me.
yeah, Abhinav, go ahead, please.
Sir, I will convince my friend to give him back because by mistake he has given more money, and I don't think we can get more money and be happy, sir, because the
Okay.
money which comes out of anyone's sadness is like a evilness sadness.
Agreed, Abhinav. Thank you very much. It was a good response. But suppose that person is has said, okay, come, I will give you
To
a
make my
party.
friend convinced to return the money
Yeah, and he says no,
because
just
it was the
stop.
money.
Harsh, he says that just stop. What would you do? Don't try to convince me. It's my money. What would you do? Anybody? So
So we will say to stop.
sorry.
I would try
We will
to
say-
convince him using several examples and
Yeah.
make him feel like that we should return it and we should not keep somebody else's money because they accidentally gave us more than they should have given us.
Okay. Can I make you some confession here? Because this incident actually happened with me. Okay. In the sense that not happened with me, somebody, a very close friend of mine, he came across and we were studying in MBA college. It was not like, and this incident actually happened. And these four guys, I was not part of them, but these four guys actually took the money and they went home. And they were very sure. So I am very glad that you guys see the right thing. But this was a good college, and still, unfortunately, this incident happened, and that's why this incident I still remember. So thank you for your response. I will come to the next part of the discussion. Now, how many of you feel that you want to have superpowers? You want to be a Superman or Wonder Woman or somebody who has Mr. India kind of powers? How many of you feel that way? Most of you?
Sir, I will to become an Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man, whatever. Or for women, Wonder Woman or whatever. So the girls in the group, I want your responses also, please. So, and how many of you think that it is quite possible to acquire that supernatural powers? It's highly improbable, right? Would you agree that it's quite unlikely that anybody would become a Spider-Man or Batman or Superwoman, or would you agree?
No, sir.
Sir, I agree that because we don't have the superpowers, but science is what can make us do that.
Right. So Tanu, thank you for your response. The only point I am trying to make here is that it is highly unlikely that any one of us will become a Spider-Man or Superman or have a special power. but we can become a special males and females in the society. How can we become a special males and females in the society? By doing very simple things, by being a common person who does simple things, shows the right mannerism, doesn't hurt the environment when it's not required to be done, shows respect to people, doesn't do injustice to people. Okay, these are the simple things that any one of us can do. And we don't have, everyone doesn't have to be Mahatma Gandhi or a great person, but we can do our bits. People like Gandhi, people like Nelson Mandela, they come once in 100 years. I would be happy if one of us can turn it like that. But then it's typically not possible. The idea I am trying to share is that we could do simple things and yet be on the right side of ethics. Okay, so show simple mannerism, be fair in our dealings, don't try to cheat anyone. Okay, do what is right, and share that belief with others. So whether it's and as we grow up, we realize that parents cannot be 100% right all the time. Teachers cannot be 100% all the right all the time. Anybody can't be 100% right all the time, right? For the common people that we interact with. So if we see an action that is being done by our mother or father or our teacher, then we can say, okay, and that is something which is not ethical, or a close friend, we can say, okay, you are not realizing, my dear friend. Say Sarthak tells Walker, or Walker tells Sarthak, Sarthak, you are not realizing, but this is a very wrong message that you have forwarded. It doesn't sound right, that is one. And even if it is right, then it is not good for the society, it's not good for our nation. So something people don't think realize forward messages, but we should realize the message that we are forwarding, whether it is going to do good or not going to do good. It may, half of the messages that will be incorrect, so you are passing on something which is factually not correct. Other times, even if you think that it is correct, some incidents happen somewhere and you think that it is a very sensitive thing and we should not be passing on that information and creating acrimony within the group, then we should avoid that. And being close friends, at least once, the friend may not listen, but at least once we can say, दोस्त ऐसे message भेजना बंद कर दो, please. So that is something we can do. We can show the right manners. We may not want to break the queue. We may not want to use the extra polythene when it's not required. Save the environment, because it is for you, your generation, that you will be facing more issues as we go along. Now in Delhi, if you know the statistics, even a child who is born, an infant, he consumes as much toxic material as a person who would smoke, say, 20 cigarettes a day. So it's that bad a situation, and that child is not the reason why the situation is like that. Probably you are also not the reason. We are the reason, people like us. We should accept that people like us, people like Sudhanshu, people like Ayushi madam, and the generation before that, our parents, they are responsible. Your parents are responsible. I'm not saying in particular any individual. I'm saying in general, the society has been responsible, and that's why you are facing such a situation. It will be worse if you don't do what is right. And as an individual, you need to do what is right. So that was the second point that I wanted to share. And let me share my screen. So you don't think that I only talk, I also prepare presentations and share it with you. So is my screen visible clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this is ethics for students. And please stop me when it's not making sense or if you have any questions, but I will run through a few slides. Okay. So this is divided into two parts. One is part A will be the introduction and the individual integrity. So any kind of ethics comes from our individual integrity, the resolve in ourselves. And when I say this, believe me, I pick anyone from your class, okay? Anybody would be as much ethical or unethical as I am, okay? Any random person. I pick up Ayushi, I pick up, Avantika, anybody could be as ethical. I'm not saying that I am more or less. I have also used plastics. I have also done a lot of things that I should not be doing, like all of you have. Because we are older, that we might have done more. People like Sudhanshu sir might have done more, used plastic much more, used car when it was not required, not use a public transport, for example. Sorry, Sudhanshu sir, I am taking the liberty of using our names, but collectively we are responsible is what I'm trying to say. And a lot of things comes from individual integrity. Now, I will give you an example why it's important that even if we even if you are 15 years old today, and then you realize that there is something that you have been doing wrong. You have seen your parents do it. I'm not talking about any parents. I'm just saying in general, you have seen your uncles doing it, spitting on the road, throwing used items on the road, dirtying the place, or unnecessarily, if I can give you an example, in my family, my mother used to say, okay, 2 polythene kar do, kyunki thoda heavy ho jayega. Instead of 1 plastic, she was using 2 plastics, which all of us have done. So agar ek plastic bhi hum log bachate chale, so then, and I'm not saying it's your problem or it's my problem or it's you are responsible. All of us are responsible and all of us have done. When I came to Bombay from Patna, I have done all my schooling, everything in Patna. I was in the State Bank of India earlier. Now, when I came to Bombay, I used to honk a lot. And I never realized that ye PP marna is anything bad. But when I came to Bombay, I realized कि यहाँ पे कम. और जब abroad गए, दिन भर बीत जाता था और एक honking नहीं सुनाई देता था. Not even one. So then I realized कि यहाँ तो हजारों गाड़ियां चल रही है, एक आवाज नहीं आ रहा है. That's the sound pollution. That's how you learn. So I should not be saying कि मैंने तो ये 10 साल मैंने गाड़ी चलाया, मैंने ये किया, अब मैं क्यों छोड़ूं अपनी आदत. मेरे पापा ने यही किया, मेरे दादा ने यही किया, मेरे चाचा ने यही किया, मेरे दोस्त यही करते हैं. That is not how we should look at. I realized at the age of 25 that honking is not good. I immediately reduce honking, if not completely stop it. Okay, so that's the importance of learning. So that's the introduction and individual integrity that we need to talk about, and we need to refine ourselves as we go along. Then, based on individual integrity, there will be society norms. And guys, please feel free to break society norms. You can quote me. If there is something wrong that you see in the society, please feel free to break it. But think through it. Is it really wrong? Something like Dowry system. We know it's completely wrong. People might give hundreds of reasons. We know it's completely wrong. Even if our uncles did it, our brothers did it, it was given in our sister's marriage, it's completely wrong. So let's stop it. Say that you are happy to walk throughout your life rather than take a car from your in-laws. Just have that resolve. You say you are happy to be in a rented house all your life, but not go that route. Say that I will not do this, come what may. So those are the things. Just feel free to break society norms, even it is. And for example, and you might think that we are thinking about such things, people 200 years back, Dayanand Saraswati, people like them, 200 years back, they talked about widow remarriage. They talked about educating our women folk 200 years back. Can you imagine? We are still struggling. So it's not that people have broken society norms, and just feel free to break them, not as a rebellious person, not go and fight, but make the change. Slowly, effectively, it will happen. It's still happening. If somebody boasts that that individual got this much in dowry, just say that, okay, that is not something that you should be proud of. Even if you have done it, even if your parents have done it, even if your best friend has done it. Then we move on to the government ethics part of it. Sorry for bringing this dowry thing. That's something which I like a lot of things about Bihar, but this is something which is prevalent in some parts of India, and it's extremely, extremely bad. Then we have government ethics. So why are we talking about government ethics? The reason why we are talking about government ethics is because as individuals, tomorrow you will be in positions where you could influence government decisions. You could be an administrator, you could be a politician, you could be a politician in the good sense. I know where you could be a police man, a police woman, army person, and that's why you should say that, okay, where is your thinking? What kind of advice that you would give, or what kind of decisions will you make? So that's important in terms of government ethics, but everything emanates from your individual integrity, the personal resolve. And it's not easy, guys. Whoever said it's easy, it's not easy. I've been working in the corporate world in State Bank of India before that. Even in working life, it's not easy. You see a lot of things which is wrong. You either digest it, or you say you are not part of it, or you just be involved in it. So, but that is a call that you need to take as an individual. So moving forward, so this was the answer that I was trying to give you, Ayushi madam. So you have intuition, which could be one reason why, way of finding what is right. Consequence, what would be the consequence of an action? Will it feed the poor? Will it help? Virtue ethics, what is virtuous? What is right, we know. And situation, in a situation, you know that, okay, this is the right thing to do. For example, we know that wearing a mask is the right thing to do. Keeping social distancing is the right thing to do. Helping people is the right thing to do. So that gives your answer. There are legal issues also. We should always be on the right side of law, but law also doesn't have a lot of ethical things. So like earlier you had slavery, which was legal. Now it's not legal, right? So those things also we can question, because at certain point of time when you become individuals who matter, who can take decisions, you can say, okay, this is not legal currently, but let's make it legal. Something like equal rights. India gave equal rights to women right from the very beginning in terms of giving votes. In Europe and other countries, it happened much later after they got their democracy. So that's again legal and ethical. I'm just using this. I'm not going to run you through because in the interest of time. Any questions at this stage?
Sir, I have a question here. Is it possible that a particular action is ethical for one, however, it could be unethical for others? Like keeping it simple, when we say do what is right, some students may come up with, okay, something is not right for one, but for me, it could be right.
Right. Ayushi, that's a very good question. And that's a question which I had a number of talk shows or speeches in Dehradun in 5 different colleges, MBA and all. And this was a recurring question. So Ayushi, let me put a question back to you. Now, if you see a drawing, something which is very artistic, could there be a situation that you see a picture that is very beautiful, and I say that it is not at all beautiful, it is rubbish?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, so ethics is also abstract in that sense, and there are a number of items which fall in the borderline. So, and a lot of discussion is required and debating is required on those things. But although we make a lot of issue about it, if we go to the fundamentals, we will get a lot of answers. So fundamental lies in terms of Gandhiji's talisman. One is that. The second is Gandhiji's talisman, as we know that any action that we take, we see whether what would be the impact on the people who are at the bottom of the pyramid, right? The people who are the poorest. The
Right.
second thing that we can do is, and that I have in a slide, is what Vivekananda had put in his book, whether it was coming from the Vedas or anywhere. So being an individual, so let me put down that, I think I had it, so 1 second. Yeah. So this is what I was talking about, a little book on ethics taught by an old man. We learned by heart, and I remember one of the lessons. So this is something which Vivekananda has written. I cannot write such good things. And what he said is that for the good of a village, a man ought to give up his family. For the good of a country, he ought to give up his village. For the good of humanity, he may give up his country. For the good of the world, everything. So it's important to make sacrifices. So for the good of the family, you can sacrifice your interest, Ayushi, or for anyone else. For the good of the society, you can even sacrifice your family, and that is not easy. And then for the good of the country, you could sacrifice a society's interest. I'm saying by society, sacrificing a society, it doesn't mean killing them, but interest of the society. And for the good of the world, so if there are aliens coming and attacking the world, then the countries won't matter, and the entire world will fight against that. So that's something which Swami Vivekananda said, and we are no longer no much wiser, Ayushi. So that's if we take a guiding principle of this, then at least 99% of our issues will be solved. Rest 1% still requires debating and a lot of discussion. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Now going
and yeah, I just wanted to encourage the students to come up with questions. If they want to ask anything, please feel free to ask. Yes,
Okay.
Sanskar.
Yeah, there is a question raised. Sanskar, go ahead, please.
Sir, who is your idol?
Yeah, that's the question I was talking about. Now, I don't want to answer this question. I want you to answer this question. And in general, if I say that among the politicians, I don't know. I have been reading the same books that you guys have read. So I thought that people like Lal Bahadur Shastri were great. Like Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Abraham Lincoln, for that matter, Mother Teresa. These are the people, and going in who have been who are quite inspirational. But I and of the recent past, you can say I was very impressed with Abdul Kalam, our ex-president, and my friend went to visit him, and he was such a simple person, and he even after he was not president at that time. So after that, there were number of people waiting for him to meet, and all those were like people from lower backgrounds and students, and so very humble man. So I think in the recent past, Abdul Kalam will stand out for me. Okay. Now, who do you think is your ideal person? Anybody? Any names? Sanskar?
Sir, my idol is Sir MS Dhoni. He's right.
Sure. So MS Dhoni, I appreciate a lot on his sporting skills. He has one of the best cricketing brains. Ethically, I don't know too much, so I can't comment one way or the other. Okay,
So my ideal is Bill Gates.
Your ideal is Bill Gates. So Bill Gates, again, very inspirational technologist, and again on ethics side I cannot comment, so because there have been controversies associated with him right now also.
Sir,
But,
my idol is Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, again, somebody who is very tech savvy, somebody who is extremely bright, but ethically, I could say that probably I don't know them, but I can say any one of you could be more ethical than he is. I don't know either him or you, but ethically we don't know. A person can be great, inspirational, brilliant. So coming back to that, do you think our top people, the IAS officers, the IITians, the IIM people who go in IIMs are more ethical than any one of us? Do you think education has to do anything with it? Anybody? Even Ayushi, madam?
So I believe, yes, education does have to do a lot with a person being ethical. Because my definition of education is not only being literate, but also having certain virtues and value system.
Sure, madam.
As a teacher, I have always tried to instill rather, such value system. I have never taught from the book, to be honest. So yes,
Sure.
I believe when we are imparting education, we are actually pushing them towards, like, choose what is right and be ethical.
Sure. No, so I agree that if it is the right kind of education, it helps. But if it is just academics, it doesn't help. So,
agreed.
Yeah, thank you for that. So just going back to the PPT. So all religions. So I have read a few religions, books from Ramayana, Gita, Quran, little bit of Bible. And what I realized is that all of them, and that was again for the book, is they all teach basically the same things. There could be one line here or there which we could keep debating about till the end of eternity. But everybody will say, okay, let's have universal brotherhood, follow the right of path, righteousness, honor the Almighty, respect your elders, your parents, love humans as well as don't hurt animals, respect nature. So those are the things that and you show me any religious book, I am ready to discuss with you, any of you offline. And that just don't quote one or two lines from here or there and keep debating like we have on television, but generally read a book and see if it is talking about the same things or not. Now, in terms of ladder of ethics, so this is very important, something which I wanted to cover. The first is not doing injustice to others. So that is very easy to follow, and let's do that. And I'm sure that most of us do that. We don't do injustice to anybody else, okay, to the extent possible. Then don't let injustice happen to you. Be strong, resist, fight back. So if injustice is happening to you at any place, fight back. It may not be a verbal or a physical fight. It could be a fight that, okay, I am not taking it. You are trying to do injustice to me. I will take it up. You are not doing my work because and you demand bribe. It will be a difficult path, but I will take up the matter. It's not easy, guys. It's not easy. All of us know that, especially people who are grown up. Then the third is very, very difficult. And at least I don't know many people who are into that. Don't let injustice happen to others. So that's something that even people like the really greats, they say, okay, you cannot do anything to me, but this is my family, this is my society, these are my people. I will not allow you to do that. So whether it's Mahatma Gandhi, whether it's Bhimrao Ambedkar, whether it was Rajendra Prasad, whether it was Jawaharlal Nehru, everybody said that, okay, the Britishers or Bhagat Singh for that matter, or all our freedom fighters, difficult to name them, but They said this is not right and we will fight it. So I will not allow injustice to happen to myself or to others. The fourth one is much more challenging, and even as individuals in a lifetime, in generations, we see it such an. So Mahatma Gandhi would perhaps follow in that situation. Work towards a situation where injustice doesn't happen to anyone. So equality for all, brotherhood, removing untouchability. People like Dayanand Saraswati and all who advocated things. People like Abraham Lincoln who said this is not right. The slavery is not right. So that is something that is extremely, extremely challenging. But I'm sure, guys, the first and the second, if you can make a promise to yourself that you will not do injustice to others and don't let the injustice happen to you. First one is very, very easy. Second one is little difficult, but if you try, it will happen. Then you can move to the third and the fourth stage. Okay. Now, going further, no, these are the simple excuses that people say that we are going on unethical path. सभी तो ऐसे हैं, लोग क्या करें? I didn't have a choice. उसको पैसा नहीं देते तो वो काम ही नहीं करता. These are excuses that all of us have made in different points of life, including myself. But that is not something which is right. Whether Rahul Sharma has done it, whether Ayushi ma'am has done it, whether XYZ has done it. You decide and you say that I will not follow this method. If I do ethical things, I will not be successful. This is not correct. There are many people who are successful in spite of doing it. So Abdul Kalam Azad, Abdul Kalam, for example, he was a great scientist, a great person, a great president, and he followed the ethical principles throughout the life. And the fourth is what we learn in corporates, which again is this is business. Let's be practical. Let's not think about these things, guys. They will have PPTs saying that, okay, this is how it should be done. There are three things that are important, which is selflessness. Don't be selfish. So again, coming back to what Vivekananda said, fairness, which is being just to everyone, and showing empathy. Empathy is what we can show right now. People who need your help, your buys, your mates, people who are down with COVID, see how you can help them. One request that I want to make to you guys is that people are suffering, be little nice to your mates, buys, and see if you can, even if you are not allowing them to come home, see if you can give them their monthly wages to the extent possible. If not 100%, say 50%, 60%, let them also live. Let them have their two meals a day. It will, you may not have your pizzas for that or extra pair of shoes, but that is okay. Individual integrity, good manners and conduct, not being greedy. Whoever said greed is good is not correct. We should not be greedy. We should not damage environment or ecosystem, and we should not be cruel to animals. There is a lot of issues with regard to mental health, and this is more for seniors. So, but keep talking to your friends. If they are depressed, just don't leave them alone. Follow the Indian method. घर पे जाओ, उसको ये करो कि नहीं, डिप्रेशन से कुछ नहीं होगा, फेल कर गया कोई बात नहीं, let's try it one more time, ऐसे होगा वैसे होगा, ये tragedy हो गया. Just be with your friends, be with your family throughout, so we don't have cases of mental health and depression. So that is something which is most prevalent in India. Unfortunately, we say that we are family oriented and all, but this is a thing which is very prevalent and it's most untalked about. So guys, please talk to people, communicate with them. Okay. Now, how do you know that you are ethical? So this is some question, basic questions. Did you waste food or water today? Did you harm or show disrespect, talk rudely to any individual today? Did you share forward hateful, false, incendiary matter on social media? This is very, very important, guys. Very, very important. all of us have done it. I'm not saying I haven't done it, or for that matter, Sudhanshu sir may also have done it. Did you participate or promote an unjust cause? You know that it is wrong, but still you are supporting that. Did you harm or hurt any animal? Did you abdicate your responsibility towards your family? And this is very important during COVID times, that you should help your parents, your mother, your father in household work. So going forward, in terms of social, how much time we have, Ayushi madam?
So we are short on time.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. So let
I
me just
think
wrap it in
another,
5
yeah.
minutes.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. So in terms of social ethics, we should show empathy. Empathy is feeling with another. So if somebody is not well, we feel that, okay, I may not be able to come to your home because I also run the risk of corona, but at least I can do something. So I can request my parents to contribute if you are running short of money, if your medical expenses are too high. I can send this request on my WhatsApp group. So if somebody is wealthy, somebody has contacts who can help somebody who is in need, I can show that kind of sympathy. That is the kind of messages that forward-looking, progressive, and which incites hope. We can talk about doomsday, but let's hope there is nothing better than hope. Then sympathy, feeling for another. So somebody is not well at home. So that's again something which you can't do outside right now because of corona. So at least at home, if somebody needs help, just show some sympathy. Your parents may still be working and may still be doing their household work. So just extend your help. And compassion. Compassion is acting on sympathy. One thing that we need to know is rate kharab ho jayega. That's something which we see a lot in Patna. Rickshaw wale ko 2 rupees zyada de diya to rate kharab ho jayega. Nike shoes 3000 के जगह आज 4500 का मिल रहा है, 7000 का मिल रहा है, तो उसमें रेट खराब नहीं होता है. So be little considerate to your rickshaw pullers, your mates, your people who deliver your household items. Be nice to them. The people who deliver, say, from Amazon or from any delivery service stations, and see if you can tip them, or you can encourage your parents to, even if it is 10 rupees that you are giving them for a person who is delivering, say, items for 2000 rupees. That's also something that he will look forward to, and that's something which will contribute to his ensuring that his family has 2 square meals a day. It's very difficult for them. A lot of people have lost their jobs. See if we can help them. Sometimes we may not be capable because we ourselves are struggling, but 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 100 rupees here or there will not matter to most of us. So that's now in terms of government ethics, this is something that we probably can't do much about it, but I just want to say that all these big countries that we keep talking about, and they keep dictating terms to the entire world. So these are basically, they have turned into businessmen. Okay. And what they are selling is that, which is the industry of death. So what is actually happening is that all these big countries, the US, the USSR, all these countries are supplying arms to and weapons to all the rest of the countries, and they are creating a volatile situation in the world. So they will supply the arms to India, they will supply arms to Pakistan, they will supply arms to Saudi Arabia, and they will ensure that all these small countries, or there is always either, even if a war is not happening, people are scared of war, and then everybody keeps piling up their weapons. So you would have billions and billions spent on weapons, and all these big countries are driving that. As a country, as India, we have to be prepared because we can't trust our neighbors, unfortunately. So we have to be prepared. So I don't blame the government in acquiring these weapons, but the world is not moving in the right direction. So these five biggest suppliers are the big five countries, and you can read about it. And five biggest arms importers, and you would be surprised, are India, Saudi Arabia, China, UAE, and Pakistan. So if these are the countries who are supplying arms, and if these are the countries who are buying arms, then why would not the countries like the US, the Russia think that, okay, let these countries keep fighting, or at least have a situation where they are always on the brink of war, so that we can continue selling the same arms to these countries. And unfortunately, and this is something which has perturbed me a lot, is that whatever the world is spending on weapons, even if 1% of it had been spent on education, 1%, guys, I'm talking about out of 100 rupees, 1 rupee was spent on education, all the kids in the world would be in schools. So, but still nobody will take notice. So I wish some of you are in a position where you could make a difference. Just ensure, see that, see the overall design, how the business is happening, and see in whatever way you can. I'm sure some of our people, Indians, are people who have the ability to make a difference. Somebody like Sundar Pichai can definitely, if he asks Biden something, then he will at least give him a hearing, even if he doesn't agree to that. So if you are in that position, see that in whatever way you can contribute in the right way, and don't fall in that trap. All the big countries selling weapons to the not so big countries, and then ensuring that there is always that within quotes of fear of war among countries, and they keep piling up weapons and not directing it to the right place. So that's where I would like to end, Ayushi ma'am and Santosh sir and Sudhanshu sir.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for being with us here this morning. And I'm sure that, this session has been extremely insightful for the students. A lot to learn, and at least we initiated. A long way to go, but yes, the start has begun.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, Ayushi, sorry if I can interrupt.
Yes, sure, sir.
There are three questions, and I may not have answers to that, but let me try to answer. What should a person do if they find a wallet? Okay, so if I find a wallet and if I see there is something that is inside, which could give me an address or some kind of that person, then you should return that wallet to that person. Otherwise, if I am not able to do that, then I would rather leave the wallet there rather than take it home. The reason being that probably somebody, either the owner will come and find a way to get the wallet back, or somebody will pick it up who would perhaps need the money much more than I do. Okay, so that's it's not a perfect answer, but that's what I would do. The next question is, during COVID time, people are giving more money for oxygen collecting at home. This is not right, but it's about life. So is this situation what is right? So that's the gray area that I said 1% that we said it's very difficult. It needs a lot of debate. If you ask people like Mahatma Gandhi, they will say probably no. They will accept death. But if you ask me, if you ask anybody here, they will say definitely go ahead, save your life, and we can sort out these malpractices later. So I would say for now, the answer is yes. People like Mahatma Gandhi will not agree. The third is, since there is evil in the world and God created the world, is God evil? I don't want to answer that. I don't have an answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sir.
Please. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'll hand this over to Sudhanshu sir now.
Sure.
Rahul sir, it was indeed a wonderful time spent here. A lot of things. The bots, very, very small things, but very critical and very, very important for everybody's individual growth. Kids at this age, getting into know how what is right and wrong. And I think this is the right age where they can start up. And the way things have moved on, the situations what we are seeing right now. Yes, one or the other way kids are also interpreting that what
me,
should
sir.
we do? Yes,
Sir, I want to ask to the sir how
yes.
we can not distracted from the from our goal.
Yeah, Rahul sir, that's a question for you, sir.
Yeah, that's a very difficult thing. That's a very difficult question. So, but if we follow the right things, so for students, I don't know whether you guys are teaching this, Sudhanshu sir. I will blame it on you if you are not. Then, what are the 4 qualities of a student? Right? Kak chesta, bako dhyanam,
Alpanidra,
Swarnendra,
Swanidra,
Swarnendra,
Alpabhojanam.
yeah, and Alpahari. So
Yes.
these are the 4 things that will help you succeed, my dear students. So Alpahari is don't just keep thinking about eating all those pizzas and burgers. Just keep eat simple food. Swarnendra is that you should sleep. Don't sleep too much, and just concentrate on your goal at hand. And again, Abdul Kalam, if I'm not wrong, he said that people who have dreams are not able to sleep because they want to turn their dreams into reality. I think it is he who said that. The third thing is that Kak Chesta, which is that crow, that the kind of effort the crow makes to get water, and all of you would have heard this story. And Bako Dhyaman is our Bagula concentrate. So these are the 4 things in students that we should have. And those are the kind of things I am sure would be in people like Sundar Pichai and all. Some of the things are not there with me, and but I hope that you guys would adhere to this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. This was really an amazing time and a much required discussion.
Sure.
Just to get the kids back on track. Time is tough, and rightly said, when things are tough, tough gets going, right, sir?
Sure, sir. Definitely. So Sudhanshu sir, Ayushi madam, just one request: if people, if students have additional questions, just feel free to send it on my WhatsApp. I will try to call them up and provide them answers to the extent possible. I don't have all the answers, students, unfortunately. Nobody has all the answers.
Right, sir.
You
Right.
read the books, you read the right books, and then you will get the answers. You read Mahatma Gandhi, you read Jawaharlal Nehru, you read people like Abraham, even this guy, um, the earlier president of USA. His books are also very good.
Okay.
Yeah. Before Trump, sorry, I'm just
Barack Obama.
Barack Obama. Yeah, Barack Obama's books are very good, so you can read those also.
Yeah. Over to you, Ayushi.
Well, indeed, this was a great session. Thank you, sir, for being with us. Since we are short on time, though we don't want to let you go and still have more questions to ask, we'll surely take that to WhatsApp, and I'm sure students have enjoyed a lot. So thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, Ayushi madam, Sudhanshu sir, and Santosh sir, and thanks a lot, students.
Thank you, sir.
And I hope you will not let us down, students. Thank you very much.
Right, sir. Students, you can show thumbs up.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great.
Right, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Bye, sir.